Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna talk about point cloud processing, and I will try to do it using Blender and Sketchfab add-on. This was actually inspired by this one article that I was reading earlier today. How to process point cloud data with Unity. This method is particularly interesting. I kind of look at it and look through it, and then this one is slightly complicated, I found, even though it's kind of neat that you can do that using Unity and also kind of try to texture each and every triangles of point clouds. This is very interesting to do, but I think I might have another methods. Like actually, I have two ways to do this in Sketchfab. Um, that's gonna involve either kind of instancing triangles over point cloud, or there's also another method that's actually kind of mentioned here on Sketchfab. It's a point clouds. Okay, point clouds apparently can be imported into Sketchfab, and they have one example here with this kind of point cloud of the house. I kind of look at it, and then basically you just need to provide the XYZ RGB ASCII file format. Okay, by default, Blender doesn't actually have this ASCII file format for point cloud. However, I think we can actually kind of do that pretty easily using Sketchfab add-on as well. So it might not seem too obvious, but I will try to do both. I have two examples here. The first one is actually the setup that's actually using the point cloud data being exported out from Blender using Sketchfab add-on. So I'll show you real quick. So this is the real point cloud. I really like it because wherever you look at it, it looks like just like a dot. It's very neat, just like a particle, and this works really well. And there's, like I said, there's also another method where we actually kind of instancing triangles over the point cloud, which is actually this method. I'm gonna try to show you both of the method. Probably I will show you the real point cloud method first of all, like the XYZ RGB. So this is the one with instancing. I'm basically just instancing this low res circle, and yeah, with a vertex color, everything is very easy, very easy to create. And I procedurally colorize these points based on the grease pencil handwriting. Basically, this just went through all the spectrum of the hue of HSV, so you get this kind of rainbow spectrum color. This is actually pretty easy to create as well. Yeah, I might do this in one of my live noding. So let's do actually the first example, how to export out point cloud. Okay, back to this one. Basically, you just need an ASCII text files with this format: XYZ for the position and RGB for the point color. So this is actually super easy, super simple to create. I will do that real quick using Sketchfab inside Blender. Okay, so I'll just gonna start it. So yeah, I'm gonna delete everything, and I'm gonna save this as point cloud basic 001, and Blender just decided to crash. It's okay, I'm gonna restart it real quick. I think I need to quit Safari first, so it's a lot faster. I'm gonna show you the two methods that I was talking about. One of them is using instancing, and the other one is actually exporting out the point cloud. So, but I'll do something really basic. So yeah, let's restart Blender first of all. And yep, we are ready now. I'll delete everything, and I'm gonna save this as point cloud processing 001. And I'm gonna switch this to cycles, because with cycles we're gonna have like later on we can display the vertex color pretty easily. So I'll do the first method first, actually not the point cloud but the instancing method. So first of all, I'm gonna use random vector generator, and I'll have viewer draw, and I'll show you what we have at the moment. So I'm just randomly placing like a point cloud, and this is being generated on the fly using Sketchfab add-on, and we already know how to do this. It's pretty simple. Okay, you have control over the scaling, you have control over the seed and everything, so that's simple enough. The next thing we want to do is to perhaps randomize these points a little bit more. So I'll use randomize input vertices, and I'll increase the amplitude of the point. So now we have something that's a little bit more random. Okay, so I will have like 500 points. So now we have 500 points in the scenes, and we have control over randomization. If you want to randomize more, you can arrange it in any way you like, but I'll keep it simple. Just leave it like that. Okay, the next thing we want to do, if you want to do the instancing, it's very easy. If you have a point cloud, any point cloud, you can instance triangles or circle, and you just simply provide something like circle. This is a circle node, and we want to instance this circle over all this point cloud data. So we're gonna use, there's a node called apply matrix to mesh, and this one is very interesting. Basically, if we put the circle in there and make this circle into triangles, just a three-sided 3-point circle, so it's gonna be triangles, and we simply plug in the point cloud into the matrices, we're gonna get the instance of circle into the point cloud. So we are already on the way there. The circle, of course, a little bit too big, so I'm gonna make it smaller. Okay, now if you want like a proper circle instead of triangles, you can increase this to 12 maybe, so that's a little bit better. So let's make it back to triangles. Here, if you want, instead of having triangles all on the same directions, you can actually randomize the rotation as well. So I will do that real quick. Simply just plugging this random vector into the rotations, and I'll have like random number generator. I'll make it between 180 and between minus 180 and 180, and plug this into the angle. Now we have every triangles being rotated randomly. So that's easy enough. Make sure all the number of random rotations and random points are the same, like this 500. You can go higher, actually, go 1000, whatever value. And so if we bake this, we're gonna get a single mesh with all these triangles. Okay, that's cool. So it's gonna work for us. But I'll show you one more thing. This vertex color. Instead of having like no material, we want to colorize each triangles randomly. So we can do that. We already know how to do that. Just use a vertex color nodes, and we're gonna output our mesh first, and we're gonna use bmesh viewer, and then we simply plug this like that. Output the face as well, so we have these objects. And for this guy, we want to give a vertex color. Simply assign a material to it and give it a color, and we're gonna do it to the face. Actually, objects goes into the objects, and the color can come from random vector, but we need to probably do a little bit of processing of the color, because if we just plug that in, it should work, but we're gonna have random color that's sometimes it's like negative. That's why we have this black color, and so we don't want that. I'm gonna do vector output, and here I'm gonna do vector in, and I'll do absolute value. And let's do the same for the other color. The X corresponds for the red, and the Y corresponds for the green, and then the blue. So now we have a proper random color for all our triangles. Okay, so that's yeah, that's actually the whole process. So any point cloud, you can simply transfer the point. You simply like provide the point positions, and then you provide the point colors, and then you assign it into the face of this mesh. And yeah, it's as simple as that. And then if you're done, you save this. You simply, I think you save it as blend and then import it into Sketchfab, and it should work. I'll try to go to Safari now and then import this this mesh. Actually, while we are doing this, instead of me making another video, I will show you like how to save this out as the ASCII format that I was talking about. So so we want to have like a proper point cloud data, right? So we don't want to just use these triangles. We can easily do that using SquareChalk. Actually, we have this text out. Okay, this one node can actually dump out quite useful information. In a way, this actually a little bit like an exporter or like a converter. You can these days, if you have like any file format that Blender can read, Blender can export it out to any format as you want. You know, it's actually rather simple to do. And this is one of such example. So I create this text, and I'll call this point cloud. I'm gonna select this on this text out. We're gonna export kind of like a file formats with the X, Y, Z, and then R, G, B. So that's how the file formats should be. And I'll make this a little bit bigger. Since we already have the vector positions and we already have the random vector for RGB as well, so we simply need to pipe it into this text out, right? So that's the idea. So I believe, let me quickly check here. We have the random points coming from this guy. So this is for the point, and this is for the RGB. So if I bring that a little bit closer to our CSV, and if we kind of just use a vector out here and there, we should have this XYZ for point, and then XYZ for the color, for the RGB. So I believe if we dump it,